of Central Africa, CEMAC. Nigeria overtook South Africa, of course, as Africa's largest economy, but the economy has been devastated by the dramatic plunge in oil prices over the last year and a half. Nigeria is Africa's top oil producer. It relies on oil exports to fill more than half of its coffers. Well, to discuss, we're now joined by Sophia Adengo, our correspondent in Nigeria. Sophia, what Christine Lagarde and Muhammadu Buhari meeting tomorrow, what are they expected to talk about?
Well, you know, Christine Lagarde's visit to Nigeria is indeed a welcome, push in the direction of improving the economy. Nigeria has been grappling since the tail end of December with trying to balance its accounts. President Muhammadu Buhari, as you know, newly elected as the president, had said that when he was ushered into, the form of leadership, he found foreign reserves nearly depleted, an economy that was going through shockwaves of lowered crude oil prices. And so the visit by, Christine Lagarde in the beginning of the year so early is really a push in the right direction in terms of the meeting of the minds on how to get Nigeria's economy back on track.
She has said that the region and the IMF has a strong relationship. Tell me about that relationship, because it has been somewhat controversial, the IMF's activities in Africa in the past and the demands that it once made on African economies.
Well, I think what we can say so far is President Muhammadu Buhari is looking to reset that relationship with the IMF in meeting with Christine Lagarde. You know, in an official press statement that we managed to get a hold of, the official stand is the visit to Nigeria will provide an opportunity to strengthen the fund's partnership with the largest economy in Africa. And like South Africa, Nigeria has been going through contractions of growth in terms of large numbers of economic, an economic, expansion or realization that is unlike any other on the continent. But that must be managed. And President Muhammadu Buhari has inherited a great deal of responsibility in making sure that the economy gets the right attention. And this kind of attention given by Christine Lagarde so early on in his leadership is really sort of like an endorsement of President Muhammadu Buhari looking to make sure that fiscal policies in meeting with the finance minister and also the central bank governor is meeting, the minds, the technocrats, and also the overall understanding with the International Monetary Fund that indeed if there are clauses and if there is a relationship that somehow has been rocky in the past, that is really what these discussions are about.
Like South Africa, Nigeria is saying it has to spend, even though the economy is not seeing the growth it could or it used to. It's taking on more debt. Is that likely to come up, something that may worry Christine Lagarde?
Well, analysts in Nigeria have said that there is no other way for Nigeria to be able to move forward but to borrow. Nigeria has spent a considerable amount of money on fighting insurgency in the northeastern part of the country with purchasing of hardware and increasing troop numbers and what they require in terms of meeting this, insurgent activity, and in terms of expanding the actual budget numbers that was not, realized in past budgets before. Towards December, President Muhammadu Buhari had said that he would try and reduce spending, and of course that would be a major concern with Christine Lagarde and her company. But overall, it seems almost inevitable for President Muhammadu Buhari to be able to move forward without garnering some kind of debt relief.
Can we end with this? Can I just move tack a little bit, because MTN in Nigeria still in the news. It may not come up in those discussions, but in South Africa, a lot of confusion about this deadline. MTN had to pay by the 31st of December, but it went to court and said therefore it didn't need to pay. Apparently some officials feel differently. What are you hearing in Nigeria right now?
Well, what we know so far is what has been spoken through the National Communications Commission, which is this relationship between MTN as a foreign, multinational that has come in, really has to answer for these breaches in security by this lack of deactivating the 5 million users that were still subscribed to MTN. And MTN is saying that the 5 billion, which was reduced to 3.9 billion and then to 3.4 billion was unjustly, levied onto the company. And this requires a finer eye in the legal court system. So as of December 31st, MTN did not pay the fine of $3.9 billion that was levied upon them, but instead has taken this issue into the court system and says that at the end they will accept what the judiciary has to say concerning this business arrangement, and really not necessarily the National Communications Commission of Nigeria that has to answer, but between they and the Nigerian government, and really coming to a consensus of how much is owed to the government and what that fine is in a just way.
Thank you, Sophia Adengo from Nigeria, and we'll keep up to date on what happens with MTN. What is incredible to me is that the fine in Nigeria, MTN owes in Nigeria 70 billion rand, is actually equivalent to what we're exporting to the US annually, something under the spotlight in those AGOA